Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. My name is Cody Bills. Today is the 13th. It's a Monday and we had the market trading lower here with Chicago wheat leading to the downside, down 24.25 cents. Corn trading down 6 3/4, and soybeans down 3 1/4 cents here on the day. Now we had a number of items here that came across the newswire. First of all, one of the reasons why we're trading lower here is the rain that occurred over the weekend in some of the southern part of the panhandle as well as the western third of Kansas. Basically, we saw between 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches of rain fall in those regions. Those were areas that badly needed a drink of water, especially when we had the wheat crop, which had come out of dormancy here into very, very dry conditions. A lot of traders very concerned about the overall quality of that wheat crop and the stress on that wheat crop. And then, of course, we get this rain over the weekend, and that puts prices under a significant amount of pressure here. Now, let's talk a little bit about the good to excellent ratings. One thing you're going to notice here is that the good to excellent ratings came out at 3 o'clock Central Standard Time. You'll notice the change over last week. We saw good to excellent rating down 2 cents, primarily as a result of the good ratings going from 37% last week down to 35% this week. And of course, the fair ratings going from 40% down to 39%. Keep in mind, though, down the line, a forecast for the remainder of the week, you'll notice that these areas of really the southern part of the plains, southern part of the U.S. looks as though it's going to be a lot wetter. We're going to get precipitation in Colorado. We're going to get precipitation in eastern part of Kansas, throughout much of Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri. All these areas which badly need a drink are going to be getting additional precipitation here this week, and that is causing less and less of a concern for crop damage here for that hard red winter wheat. One thing, when you take a look at the charts here, you'll notice that today we traded down very sharply. You'll see that that the Chicago wheat contract traded down, but really it's that Kansas City wheat contract that lost the most. It was down 28.5 cents here on the day. You can see we've fallen below that previous low back in January, and it looks as though we're going to be heading for that low that we hit back in March before we started getting a little bit of short covering due to this drought. It's going to be interesting to see if we trade there in the next couple of days here, or whether or not we find some support after trading off very sharply. We'll have to see, but I wouldn't be surprised if we retest those lows. Other than that, guys, we did have in the planting, the crop progress report, we did get corn planted. We saw that 2% of the U.S. was planted compared to 5% over the last 4 years. So we are a little bit behind, but nothing to be overly concerned about. Of course, that Delta region, southern part of the U.S., has had a little bit of delays here, and it looks as though they'll probably be delayed and then perhaps even have to replant, especially with that rain that's going through there really in the next week. But not only that, this isn't really going to affect the market a whole lot, but it is something, you know, it marks the start of that corn planted section here of the report, and it's going to be very interesting as we move into the height of planting season, whether or not the weather will cooperate, whether or not we get the corn in early, or if we get some sort of delays here due to additional rains. You know, of course, the big question is, will producers switch into soybean acreage? Keep in mind that we do have weekly export inspections out this morning, and what we saw for the most part, corn and soybeans coming in within analyst expectations. You'll notice corn came in at 855,000 metric tons inspected for export. Analysts were expecting anywhere between 800 to 950. So it was very positive, though it was a decline from last week's 1 million metric tons inspected for export. So nothing to write home about there. Soybeans come in within analyst expectations as well with 450,000 metric tons. And you'll notice that wheat here came in really on the high side of analyst expectations, and also beating last week's export inspections amount with 445,000 metric tons. Other than that, guys, that wraps up today's show. If you have any questions about what we talked about today, please give the office a call. The number is 877-472-4607. Remember, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and take a demo of that trading platform. It's going to be great when you're out in the field planting to be able to look down, have the live quotes, have access to your trading account, be able to monitor your positions on the go. It is a fantastic tool for marketers out there. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Just go to grainhedge.com. Top right-hand corner is a 14-day free trial. You can get the access to that account there at grainhedge.com. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you here on Tuesday.